Okay, are we good to switch groups, or are we still need some more time to work?
Hold on, just
a second.
Did you get -2, 3? I don't know why I did that as well, but got ahead of myself. I thought that was the instruction.
You guys need some more time?
We're good. Don't make me volunteer.
That's fine. We'll get it. Are you guys good over here?
yes.
Hey, so hit play at the game.
They're gonna know.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, ooh.
Oh my god. It's really kind of cool.
She wouldn't be putting all these fractions in
Just
it.
keep the notes that you have here. If you have like a weird fraction, try to plug it in. I mean, if we're trying to use their supplement,
I want to fill this out before I
there might be some unclear steps. While you guys are going through these group steps, make sure you're taking notes of things that are unclear so that we can talk about it at the end. But we're going to go ahead and switch groups, and I'm going to give you guys a different problem. So go ahead and rotate.
Oh.
You guys just got screwed. It's gonna be so easy with that method.
Use the next group's instructions to solve it.
One variable by
Y by itself.
This one's already got Y by itself.
Translate.
yeah.
So give me about 8 minutes. So I guess on both equations or just one?
Same variable? Oh no, we're saying like get one variable by itself, plug it into the other one.
Yeah, it's just like, then it says plug what the value equals in to the variable in the other equation. So
Yeah.
then it says solve for the other variables and then again.
So like it's
Oh my goodness.
a solve the variable.
It should be negative. You should minus 2 that. You should add
Oh.
2. Divide by coefficient. Oh, we already did that. Solve for y by putting x.
There you go.
Also, we can pick it up. Or do 100 into this one. Y
Does it matter if you want 3 1/2 or 7?
Either one's correct.
5, 2, 1. My answer is 5, 2.
So you got X and 7.
Do you guys more time over here? You guys need some more time over here? Okay. You guys need some more time over here?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
So you got 14 H times 2, right? So would
Yeah, but that can't
Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we got the same answer. I checked.
Okay.
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 17 and 18.
You already said it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys about like 20 more seconds to kind of wrap up. For time purposes, we're only going to do 2 rotations, just so we don't have time to go around the whole house.
Well, do you really want to pull in that thread?
Okay. So we're gonna bring up the groups' descriptions of like how they would solve it and kind of maybe clarify some unclear steps. So I'm just gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. So 2 groups should have done each group's instructions. So the groups that did these instructions, was there anything unclear that you would have liked to see clarified? As you were going through your problems? Sorry.
We didn't know what isolate meant.
Okay, so whose group was this? Okay, what did you mean by isolate?
Get it by itself.
Get it by itself. So perhaps we might have just said, how would you like to say solve for y maybe? Would that have helped? What would you guys think? Because you had this one too, right?
The one later they said you solve for y, so just
Okay.
set that equal. Assume the equation.
Set the equation
Dude,
equal.
you're wrong.
Okay. Alright. What about the next group's instructions?
I can multiply by 2. I can multiply by 2.
Alright, so which group is this? This was yours? Okay. The groups that did this one, was there anything unclear that you would have liked to see clarified? Or was this one?
Yes, we put y equals y.
Poor Radiant.
You use, because they might have needed to say the part with x in it, set those equal to each other instead of y equals y. Okay. What about the third group? And actually, you know what? I'm gonna use this instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna put this group instead. The groups that did this, I know both had questions. So, what were some unclear steps here that you guys might have needed clarified?
What do you do with like we got like an x and a negative x? Do those cancel or what do you do?
They're the same.
No. So it doesn't, we didn't know what to do. So we got like a negative 2x.
Yeah. Here.
We didn't know what to do because like we got fractions on the like 3/7x. We didn't know how we should do.
Yeah. The fractions part is something that doesn't really work on that, and I should have mentioned in there. The easiest way is just to leave it on that outside. That's not involved.
Well, we could go through and do these for each group, but obviously we're running out of time. So, as you guys were going through these problems and using these groups' instructions, did it get maybe a little bit frustrating because you would have rather used a different method? I see some heads nodding. Well, the whole point behind this is that over this unit, we've learned a bunch of different ways to solve systems of learning equations. So we've done graphing, we've done setting y by itself and substituting it in, we've done setting each equation equal to y, setting them equal to each other, we've done Gunner's cancellation of x's method. And the whole point is that we have to focus on the original question, and the process of getting there is kind of up to you. So you want to take hints from the homework questions, and then from that decide on how you might go about solving that. So for homework tonight, you're going to be doing homework number 18, not homework 17. And maybe look for those things that help you decide which method you're going to use. So if you're going to use like the substitution method where you substitute y into something, what's something you might look for? Yeah.
It's like you already had one where it was solved for y.
Yeah, so if you already had one where it was solved for y and the other wasn't, you might just substitute y into it, right? At the same time, if you had something like where two things had x and y both in them equal to a number, then you might want to solve for one and solve for y on both of them and then set them equal to each other.